I read 11 books in April, plus a few others. Let's talk about them. The first two books I read were The Raven King and The Kingsman. I love these books. Like, I am actually obsessed with them. I cannot stop thinking about the characters and the plot. They have consumed me. The third book I read was Swept Away. I was really excited for this one. It didn't give me quite the same emotions as the other two did. The next book I read was Bloodmark, the sequel to Legendborn, and it was very, very good. It did take me a little bit longer to get into. Once I got into it and I was really, really invested, it was really good. I'm very excited to read the next one in the series. The next book I read was Wildside. I love Elsie Silver. I love anything Elsie Silver writes. This one wasn't quite doing it for me. There was something about like the grief timeline and like the miscommunication that just was a little bit like, It was still good, like I'd still recommend them, but it just is not my favorite in the series. The next book I read was The Prince Without Sorrow. It was really good. It was a debut book, first in the series, and I really enjoyed it. I thought the mythology and like the plot of it all was so interesting. I'm very excited to see where the series takes us next. Here's where things start to get a little rocky for my reading month. The next book I read was The Listeners. I love The Raven Cycle. It is one of my all-time favorite series. I was so excited to read Maggie's adult debut, even if it wasn't something that I normally would have picked up. Like, I don't normally go for like historical fiction, World War II sort of books, just because they don't really strike my fancy. I completely understand what she was going for, but for me, it just didn't hit. I do have a full review of this one on my Goodreads, and I can do like a full review of it if you'd like, but yeah. The next book I read was Say You'll Remember Me. In my brain, I would not consider this book a romance. They go on a first date, like within the first 10%, and they're like in love from that first date. So I'm like, where's the romantic development? I also have a full review of that one that I can go into more detail about. The next one I read was This Is How You Lose the Time War. This, for it being such a small book, it packs an emotional punch. It's a little bit confusing at the start just because it's like a sci-fi novella, but once you get into it. The next one I read was Great Big Beautiful Life. I had heard very mixed things about this one, so I was very nervous going into it, but I actually really liked it. Things were a little bit slow in the beginning just because you're kind of getting all set up and everything, that everyone's stories are kind of starting. But once you really get into it, I was like, I want to know more about everyone, about everything, about what's going on. I didn't predict anything. I was just there for the ride. And I did quite enjoy it. The last book that I read was A Fate Inked in Blood. This one I've had on my list for a while. It was good. It's like forbidden romance, but also like the yearning and the tension. Oh, it's good. But yeah, that was my reading month. I think it was a very up and down month for me personally. I don't know. Hopefully May will be better.